worst sounds in the world is a baby crying. I think I read somewhere that when they were trying to torture prisoners of war, they would pipe in the sound of babies crying. It's painful to hear babies crying. Why do babies cry? Why? Like, why do babies cry? Children cry because they like being jerks.
I love Father Mike again. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
People get so upset about the crying babies position I take, and I don't understand it.
I hear you threaten Taffy with the horse head in his bed if he didn't make that for us.
Taffy has put himself in a position where he has to give us an intro for every episode now.
Yeah, and because he started off doing it for Taff, we're never going to pay you either. Bro.
Yeah, we're never paying you. You are just our opening video servant. Because I gotta tell you, his opening video, like the beginning of our song going right into something by Taffy, is my favorite intro for the show.
Yeah.
It's by far. Father Mike no longer cringe. This debate is interesting because the saying, if your mass ain't crying, it's dying, is very prevalent, to the point where somebody forged a saying by St. John Chrysostom, saying something along those lines.
And not even one of the good ones by St. John Chrysostom.
There's zero chance St. John Chrysostom said that. Like not even remote possibility. And the thing is, what it has done, that saying, your mass ain't crying, if your mass ain't crying, it's dying. I get the sentiment. It means you want young children at mass because it means your families are growing and you have a thriving parish, which is very true. But what it has done is given a sense of entitlement to certain parents who think when their kid cries, it's actually a good thing.
And not even so much the crying kids. It's the older kids that are misbehaving and whining. And trust me, my kids do this quite often.
All kids do this. It's what kids do. But I said today that I have witnessed some of the worst parenting in my entire life at mass. Now, I will say they typically at a Novus Ordo, but I've seen it at trad parishes too. Not my regular parishes. The children at the parishes I go to are all saints. They genuflect by 9 months. They beat their chest as they confess their
Mea culpa, mea culpa.
They beat their chest at 9 months. But no, I've been in a position where two siblings will be fighting in the pews and the parents do nothing. And it's like, you have an obligation as a parent at that point to separate the kids. I've had my own teenage daughters were giggling at mass recently, like a few weeks ago, and I literally put one on one side of me and one on the other. Like you have to be a parent still. It's like no, we're not getting mad if your baby starts to cry, but if the baby's continuously crying, you have to take the baby into the vestibule of the narthex.
Yeah, and as I was telling you in the green room, like, you know, we travel 4 hours round trip for mass, and that means like my 4-year-old has had a 2-hour car ride by the time he gets to mass on, you know, midday Sunday. He is energetic and he's a little terror.
Yeah.
So I spend most of the mass in the narthex with him, right? Just because he's a little terror doesn't mean he gets to terrorize everyone else at mass.
Iggy, not Maddie.
Maddie is getting better because now he's able to he can read now. So he's reading his children's missal and really starting to take it all in. And since we've made the full-time switch to TLM and told him the reasons why, he's starting to take that very seriously too. So really, it's in the last couple months he's made a huge switch.
So how old is Maddie?
6.
Okay, and Iggy's what, 4?
4. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I remember with all my kids, but especially my youngest with Stella, by the time she was 3.
That's my mom.
That's your mom. I want to know how Rob was at mass when he was a baby.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Well, I'll tell you this. Growing up, my mom had 9 kids, and so when you have that many kids, though, the older ones tend to then take care of the younger ones, right? So we would go to mass, and it would be the older 4 would actually hold the younger ones, and like we would take care of them.
I knew it. I was perfect. You know why? Because me and my brother, we were always threatened with, don't make me have to take you outside, like to the
And
car.
that
Because
was
you know
bad.
because the parish's parking lot was right up the hill. You know, if you got taken out to the car, that meant you were being put in the car, doors closed, and you were getting spanked, and no one could hear you, cry.
See that there's one thing the older generation did discipline their children. We do deal with this gentle parenting nonsense now, but I remember my youngest especially, but I did it with all of them. But and it's interesting because this was at a Novus Ordo parish too, but they still rang the bells at the consecration. And by 2-3 years old, I was already trying to teach my kids that something important was happening up at the altar. And
Laura.
when the bells of consecration would get rung, my daughter, when she was 2 and 3 years old, will go, oh, Jesus, Jesus. So like even now when we go to mass, my youngest will still look over at me when the bells of consecration get rung as kind of like an inside joke, because I used to hold her and she would go, Jesus, Jesus. And she would whisper it, like, because she knew when the bells were rung that was something important happening. So, you know, I've seen people allow their 6 and 7-year-olds to eat Cheerios in the pew and play with noisy toys. And it's like, you do have an obligation to start teaching your kids that something important is happening at the altar. Like, I understand 2 years old, 3 years old, that's a bit much. But somebody told me today that they were in the cry room and one of the parents brought McDonald's in for their kid and set them up with chicken nuggets and dipping sauce in the cry room. And it's like, do you know the lesson you're teaching your child at that point?
Yeah. Like, you know, we've brought snacks, not so much. Mina doesn't really need them. It was mostly milk. We would bring Maddie, especially
like
when he was
a
younger.
year old.
Well, it was like 2, 3, but it was also after a long car ride. But they've kind of grown out of that, and Mina's not like that as much. So I can understand snacks for a smaller, younger child, especially if you have a long car ride. But chicken nuggets with dipping sauce?
Yeah, that's a bit much. But I'm not even talking about the 2-year-olds. Like, I'm serious when I say like 7, 8-year-old. Like these are kids that are probably
those are kids that should be getting ready for first communion.
First communion, like past, like at the age of reason. Like there is no excuse for it, unless your kid has special needs. Like I do understand there's a lot of children with autism and things like that. It's a very different situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of exceptions to things we're talking about, so no one get offended. Because there are exceptions, but
absolutely. But for the most part, like you should be. So the thing is, like, I never ever hit my kids once in their lives. So I know a lot of people will criticize that. It's not gentle parenting. If I raised my voice, my children have a healthy fear of their father. So that if I even raise my voice, my kids are like, oh my goodness, like they're terrified of me getting upset, not me hitting them. They're just afraid of me getting upset. So it's like, I'll never get the parents who are letting their kids make noise active in the pew. It's like, I get that your kids might be a little restless, but you have an obligation as a parent to keep the noise down and do your best. I'm not even saying you're going to be successful, but you need to try. Because when I see the parents just staring up at the altar doing nothing while their kids are bickering, I'm like, I want to go over and like discipline their children. I get furious at it.
Now there's another side of this, and I see this, or have seen it much more often at your typical boomer-filled Novus Ordo, where your kid lets out, and I mean like an infant lets out a small cry, and you'll see a few older people turn towards you and give you a death glare. And like, that's like the opposite side of this, where they don't understand like their so-called participation, their attention span at like, mass doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't affect the mass.
Yeah, Kale saying in the old days people wouldn't even go to mass if they were kids. But what I was saying earlier is like my parents had 9 kids. The older ones would hold the younger ones. I can't remember a single Sunday where we left mass and somebody didn't come up to my mother and say, I cannot believe how well behaved your children are. And that's going from 6 months old, a year and a half old. Like my parents' kids were all Irish twins. They're all like within 18 months apart. So it was like, well no, there's the older 4 are all like a year and a half apart, and then there's an 8-year gap between Mikey and Joey, and then the bottom 5 are all 18 months apart. So there was never a Sunday where we would leave mass where somebody didn't come up to my mom and just be like, I cannot, you have such a beautiful family. I cannot believe how well behaved your children are. Like it was like they all knew you do not act up at mass, you know? So I give if mom's there alone with the kids, there's a lot more leeway given, obviously. But if dad's there, I give no leeway. Like your kids, if you give them a look at mass, your kids should go, that's mad. Or like in your case, like your young son is restless from the car ride. You take him outside and you make sure he's not disrupting mass for everybody. You know, it's just common courtesy, guys. It doesn't mean we don't love children. It doesn't mean it's just be courteous to the people around you. You're not entitled because you have kids. Ugh. Yeah. All right.
yeah. We love kids. Like I have not attended a mass and gotten to just sit there and partake in 6 years since Maddie was born, and it's not ending anytime soon.
No, yeah, you're gonna keep pumping them out probably. So promise a great treat to the kids if they are well behaved at mass. Carrot, not the stick. That's good. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of different. Look, and every kid's going to be different, but
we often take them to like the because we drive the 2 hours to the bigger city. There's a lot more stuff that we can do there that we don't get the opportunity here. So we'll often take them to the aquarium or zoo or something like that after mass. So
yeah, I always did. Whenever we would go to Holy Innocents, we would do that. Like I would take if we went to Holy Innocents because it was an hour and a half ride into the city, we would always go for like a special brunch after. Or me and Nicole would take them to the Met, or we would, do something.
We are Catholic, Bill.
We are Catholic. Yes, Bill. Welcome to the show. You know what? Before we get, should we cover the story right away, or we should do.
We should, but we gotta talk about our sponsor.
So Recusen Cellars, guys, they are the one company brave enough to sponsor Rob and I, and we are very thrilled that they're still partners with this program because we have not done anything to make them leave yet, which is amazing because I say a bunch of silly things. Father's Day is coming up. It is a great Father's Day gift. They have fresh fruit at their vineyard. They have a whole assortment of different kinds of wines. I'm trying to do this off the cuff. I think Rob mispronouncing Recusen is the best way to sell wine, though. So Rob, you could go from there.
Guys, don't make me say the name because it's baked in at this point. Like I'm never gonna say it. Hold on, let me try. Recusant. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Recusant.
It's not requisite. I know that. Requisite. Margot loved the sangria. So guys, Father's Day is coming up. It's a great gift.
Is good.
Yeah.
Use code BASED to make represent.
Use code BASED BASED for 10% off, and let them know that we sent you. The guy on the right has Anglican physiognomy, and the guy on the left is Catholic.
That's because I'm literally part English, a good portion English, and he's a freaking WAP. So
yeah, I'm a WAP.
Excuse me, sorry, I shouldn't have said.
Hey, that's good. We got hooked on phonics in the chat.
Hooked on phonics.
All right. Before we get to the main topic, religious hippie sent me here. Before we get to the main topic, I want to cover 2 videos.
McWab.
I want to cover 2 videos. I want to do Rob. I sent you the one that says, "Will this marriage last?" I want to talk about this one first.
Okay, hold on. Is this the
cat one?
The cat one. Okay, and then there's the airplane one, right?
Yeah, then we got the airplane one. We're gonna do these 2 videos, and maybe we'll release these as clips later.
Well, if we're gonna release them as clips, why do we want to do them first?
All right, so let's do the main story then.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the Pillar article, right?
Yeah, it was. I sent a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
I do that at times. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't say sorry to them. I'm the one that has to deal with it.
You are the one that has to go through it. Okay, so protest prompts perpetual pilgrims pull from procession. Is that a tongue twister or what? Protest prompts
J.D.
perpetual
Flynn.
pilgrims pull from procession. Thank you, JD.
Okay, here we go.
JD Flynn, yeah. Protest prompts perpetual pilgrims pull from procession. Amid ongoing protests during a national walking Eucharistic pilgrimage, organizers pulled full-time perpetual pilgrims Saturday from a Eucharistic procession in Abilene, Texas, as demonstrators have begun harassing and taunting pilgrims by name during the public processions. I'm having a hard time with saying that. And San Angelo's Bishop Michael
Because it's
Sis,
English.
is Michael Sis the bishop that had the issue with the nuns in his diocese? I think he might. Told the Pillar Saturday that he's urged Catholics, I think that might be, urged Catholics to keep your focus on Jesus despite the protests, while encouraging law enforcement officials to ensure the safety of the Eucharistic processions. Let's see. Officials with the National Eucharistic Congress and the Diocese of San Angelo, Texas, told the Pillar on background Saturday that 8 college-age perpetual pilgrims of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage would not participate in public procession events during their June 7th and 8th visit to West Texas and the diocese. The pilgrimage is an 8-week journey from Indianapolis to LA, part of a 3-year Eucharistic revival called for by the U.S. Bishops' Conference and primarily organized by the Congress, blah, 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 blah. Since the
They're saying
first week,
it's not the same bishop. That was Bishop Olson of Fort Worth.
Oh, okay. Since the first week of the procession, protesters have demonstrated along the route, primarily organized by the Church of Wells, a Texas-based religious group which criticizes Eucharistic adoration as contrary to the Christian gospel. Now, I will say this, at least they're consistent, right? I mean, if they're going to accuse us of idol worship, like this is the thing they accuse us of idol worship for. They are filthy heathens. Don't get me wrong. At least they're logically consistent. Protests have escalated in recent weeks with demonstrators shouting scriptural admonitions, playing musical instruments, and calling. These are people are like disgusting leftists. Like when you see like a conservative go to speak and they try to make noise and just like drown them out. That's what they're doing.
I wonder if they ever include any of John 6 in their scriptural admonitions.
Oh, of course not. Not a chance. And calling both to perpetual pilgrims and to Catholics joining the Eucharistic processions held in cities visited by the pilgrimage. The demonstrators have led to increased security. Protesters have in recent days begun harassing pilgrims by name, sources said ahead of the decision to withhold their participation in the Saturday evening Eucharistic procession. Why do they have to add so many words that are unnecessary? Reportedly, a procession scheduled for San Angelo on Sunday. But as the perpetual pilgrims sat out the Saturday evening procession, protesters were not found along the route, leaving uncertain whether demonstrators will arrive in San Angelo Sunday and whether that could impact the participation of the pilgrims. It is also not clear whether the pilgrims will participate in public events. And how did they get their names?
So these perpetual pilgrims are more or less college kids who are part of the procession the entire way, right? Whereas most of the people involved are locals from that town at that moment. These are people that are involved from the very beginning. So their names are published like on the Congress's website and stuff like that.
Where are the Texas Catholics there to counter protest is what I want to know. Like why is there not security by like local parishes making sure these animals don't affect our processions? Because it's an interesting thing. Like we're in a Protestant country, especially Texas. Texas is very heavily Bible Belt country, right? Would that be considered Bible Belt, Texas?
Like I think it depends on the parts.
Part of Texas.
You know, yeah, like maybe East Texas, North Texas, but like Southern Texas is going to be largely, you know, Hispanic and Catholic.
It's like the thing that converted the pagans was our pageantry and our processions and things like that. It's just like I don't know. Do you think the bishop should have told them to pull out, or do you think he should have?
Pilgrims?
Yeah. Is the procession still going on? He just told
the procession's still going on. He's just saying like these people seem to be.
Can you turn the fan on?
Literally targeting these people by name. So for those individual safety, maybe they shouldn't be there at this
Yeah.
point. And I get that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. All right. I thought as long as he didn't cancel the actual procession.
No, I don't believe so.
When I first heard this, I thought it was going to be like the Westboro Baptist Church or something. I was there in Dallas. I have to laugh. At one point, the guy yelled, "We are here risking our lives to bring you the truth."
It's like, we're not in LA right now, dude. Like, settle down.
They're so dramatic. Like, to think of like what real dangers to this country are. They're protesting Eucharistic processions. These people are sick. Texas is heavily Southern Baptist in my experience. The thing is, this is true, right? They understand that this is a spiritual war, but they don't understand they are on the wrong side. Eucharistic processions are Eucharistic armies of the faithful marching to take territory. So yeah, well, if you're looking at it as Catholic versus Protestant, they're right to go for that, because that actually is the thing that will convert hearts. I mean, like, Rob, I'm in New York City, and Father Mayara from Holy Innocents will do Eucharistic processions through New York City.
Yep.
And you'll get two reactions. Well, three. Some people will obviously just walk by and not even acknowledge it. But then you'll get the Catholics who have something deep in their heart that even if they're not like practicing Catholic, when they see a monstrance pass by, they'll get on their knees and make the sign of the cross. And it's a very powerful image to have a procession going by with that monstrance. And they what's the canopy called? Do you know?
Oh, I forget. I know that word, but
they walk with this canopy and the monstrance, and you'll just see these construction workers that are working on a job site, and they'll just drop to their knees and make the sign of the cross. It's a very powerful image. But then you'll also get that chaotic satanic reaction from people who, like, it's like the demons arousing them, you know. It's a very cool thing to witness in New York. There's a YouTube video called
I know what one you're talking about.
I think it's called Jesus Christ in the City or something.
I think we've even played part of it on here before.
It's so cool, and you get a glimpse of what it looks like when Father Mayara walks through with the Eucharist.
So yesterday we were gonna go, but we didn't get I actually have crazy weekend stories.
Let's hear them. I love it.
But I'll go into them after this. But yesterday, here in our diocese in Duluth, we had our local Novus Ordo parish. The first priest of that parish is venerable and has an open cause for sainthood. His name was Monsignor Joseph Boo. He was a Slovenian missionary who came here for all the Slovenian miners, and also converted a lot of the native tribes up here. But anyways, his cause for sainthood is open, and last year they got permission to exhume his body from where he was buried. And yesterday they processed it through the city of Duluth to the cathedral to be entombed in the cathedral. So
wait, this was what
people think Eucharistic processions are weird. This one was probably especially weird.
That's
weird in like an amazing, awesome Catholic
the macabre of Catholicism. Is my favorite part of it. Like the veneration of relics is the coolest. I'm glad you guys patched things up since last week.
I want to so I when I'm not on the show, I don't watch it, because then I'm like, what was the point of me not not being
take
there?
A break?
I'm taking a break.
You need a break.
So the next morning, I wake up to numerous emails asking if everything's okay, saying they're praying for me and Aunt, and I'm like, whoa, what happened?
He texts me and he goes, "What the hell did you say?"
No, I think I said, like, "You're the worst. What did you say?"
He's like, "What the hell did you say?" People are sending me messages asking if we're okay. I'm like, dude, I said like the silliest, like most sarcastic opening. I was like, yeah, me and Rob had a falling out. I'm interviewing new co-hosts right now. Like, it's just so silly.
But like 2 minutes later, you said it was a joke.
Yeah, like literally a minute and a half later, I was like, no, this is what really happened to Rob. But people thought I was serious. So
yeah. So this ties in well to our weekend story. So last Thursday, I missed because Wednesday, my middle child Iggy had he still sleeps in pull-ups. He's potty trained, but he's still working on holding it all night, so he sleeps in pull-ups. He had a massive bout of diarrhea in his sleep. Slept through it. It blew out of the pull-up. He slept through it and rolled around in it. So he woke up head to toe covered. And I mean, it was on his face. Like I go wake him up in the morning and he crawls out of bed and I'm seeing this and he turns to face me and I see it on his face and I'm like, I almost throw up on the poor kid. So that was a bad way to wake up. And he had diarrhea all day. And it's like, okay, I'm going to take the night off, work on getting Iggy feeling better, all that. Especially because on Friday, we traveled down to the Twin Cities 4-hour drive because Hope's nephew was getting married on Saturday. So we wanted to drive down there Friday, get settled into a hotel, and have a fun day Saturday and stuff.
I'm sorry, that's a funny line. When you feed your kids McDonald's in the vestibule, yeah. That's what happens. That's a good line, Jim.
So about 30 minutes from the drive being done, we're just pulling into the Twin Cities. We got 20, 30 minutes left. Maddie throws up in the car. Now, he has a history of being car sick, right? And we were just finishing up a almost 5-hour drive. I figured he got car sick. Mm-hmm. Okay, no big deal. We get him cleaned up. We get to the hotel, get settled in. He throws up again.
Oh, that's not car sickness. That's a virus.
Then 20 minutes after that, he throws up again.
Oh, no.
And then Iggy has diarrhea. And, so it just...
Did you...
Huh?
Did you or Hope get it?
Yes. The next morning, I started with stomach aches. By Saturday night, I'm throwing up multiple times. So we call Hope's sister, say, we just drove 5 hours to the Twin Cities, and we can't come to your wedding. We can't come to the wedding.
Yeah, you can't. You at that point, it's like, even if you could suck it up and go, it's not fair to the guests.
Right.
Like, nobody else wants to get it.
Right. But even then, like, we're no one is hardly going half an hour without having issues, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I made sure to get a hotel with a pool, right? We can't let the kids swim if they're having, diarrhea. Yeah. Well, our room's overlooking the pool.
And the kids want to go in the pool.
So literally all day Saturday, we're in the hotel room, all sick. The kids are looking down at the pool, knowing they can't swim. Hope can't go to the wedding we were supposed to go to. We would have just drove home, but like I said, none of us are going more than half an hour without issues. So 5-hour car ride's not going to happen.
Not even happen. Did you say 2 nights?
Yeah, we did. But like
the thing about stories like this, though, they're the only ones you remember. Yeah. So it's like I had to call Bobby today because something really bad happened to me. I'm not going to tell it on this side. I'll tell it on locals, okay. But it's just very expensive problem happened to me. Very, very, very expensive. And it's like these things happen to us, and in the moment you're like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that ever happened. But like 5-10 years from now, you're gonna look back and you're like, you remember the time we went to that wedding? Like we were all stuck in that stupid room because we were like, and that'll be a story to tell. Like I don't look at like bad things the way I used to now, especially because we do this show, because it's like these are the things you remember. And when you look back on your life, the things that stand out are those are your memories. You don't remember the mundane. Like you would have went to some boring ass wedding and it would have just been some boring wedding.
Not the worst part, but another, like, this ended up not being a nice hotel, right? I saw the pictures online and the pictures looked great. We get there and it's run by a family from a certain, from a certain, let's just say they're probably related to Kash Patel. And, like, if you just open your eyes and take look at anything in the hotel for 5 seconds, right? And close your eyes. It looked pretty good. Yeah. You start looking for more than 5 seconds, you see that nothing's really clean. Everything's dirty and dingy. And like the wall, like they have this painting hanging on the wall with some fancy wallpaper under, right? Well, you look at it, it's not a painting, it's a
It's
frame.
mold.
No, it's a frame with a paper with artwork taped to the outside of the frame, not even in the frame. And then the you have the normal wallpaper, then you have wallpaper right in line with the frame. Well, it's not like they put that frame there and then they kind of taped wallpaper kind of up on either side, but it's not exactly level. It's kind of crooked, you know. It's like,
yeah, me and Nicole went to Florida one time. We went down with another couple, and when we got to the hotel, like we booked a hotel online, and when you looked online, it was like it looked beautiful. We got there, we walked in the room, and it was just like in the bathroom there was like mold behind us. I was like, I went into that freaking the wherever, like the main lobby, whatever. I lost my mind. I was like, I am getting a refund for every freaking dollar. We wound up going and finding an Airbnb and staying there instead. It's just like you were sick, you couldn't even do any of that. It's like,
no, and like we didn't really notice it for the first like, you know, half, because we're settling in and stuff and figuring out, oh, now we're all sick. By the time like we're starting to get ready to go to bed, I'm seeing holes in the wall that are kind of covered up by just
hotel rooms in general are just filthy. So it's like you really do have to be very careful.
So I really started to notice when like I moved a chair. It was like a 2-room suite. I moved the chair from the living area to the bedroom so that like Hope can sit with Mina, right?
Yeah.
And as I go to move the chair, candy wrappers start to fall out from under the cushion, and I'm like, oh no. That's when I started to look at everything closer, you know.
I'm telling you, you and Hope are gonna laugh about this. I actually, I'm not going to say who it was, but so my wife talked to one of her friends who may watch this show. But my wife talked to one of her friends, and her son had an event this weekend, and it was like a hockey event, and all the guys went out after and they got really drunk.
Yeah.
And he got arrested.
Oh.
like it was just like an incident. It was like a really big deal, you know. And the mother was heartbroken. And I was telling Nicole, I'm like, yeah, but like, first off, like, it's just like a typical thing for a 20-year-old. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, he just got drunk and he got out of control. And it's the same thing. It's one of those things where in the moment seems like the worst thing in the world. But a couple of years from now, you'll look back on it. It's just, you'll be like, you remember that weekend where I had to bail you out of jail? And, like, you have to.
Is this the thing you said you weren't going to tell on this side?
I just had something very expensive happen to me.
Okay.
It's meant more for like our closer audience. It's not, you know, the YouTube side doesn't need to hear it. But yeah, it was just a very expensive mishap that has happened to me that I'm dealing with. But all right, so let's get to the cat video, because I want to discuss this psychotic wife. And people are telling me it's AI. No, what it is it wasn't actually on a Dave Ramsey episode. It's to a different call-in show. They just put Dave Ramsey behind it. But this is a real thing that happened. So it looks like Dave Ramsey's listening to it. I don't know if it was a Dave Ramsey show. It might have been something else. Holy crap, Sean is spot on. Sean is,
I should have guessed,
spot on. And when I say expensive, you'll all think I'm psychotic.
Are you still going to be a boat owner after this, or no?
I'm stuck in a position where I have to. Like, I have
Otherwise,
to, like,
you're paying on something that
it'll cost me more to not fix it in the long run. Like, it's just so, dude. I won't even say the number. I won't even say it. Bobby. I called Bobby today and I'm like, you're the only person I can tell this to, because everybody else will think I'm so, like, I'm not even going to tell Nicole how much it costs. I'm not even telling her. My brother-in-law is the one who all right, so oh man, I guess we're doing story time on YouTube. I knew the boat was so at the end of last season the boat broke.
Yeah, I remember you had to get it towed once or twice, right?
Listen, here's the thing. People call us grifters. Like, I've had some really serious things happen. Like, I
You
had
had your
my
boiler go out.
my oil burner broke. Like, Rob and I have never set up like a GoFundMe to help. Rob's car, freaking the motor basically blew up on it. Like, neither of us have ever like, oh, help us do that. Like, we do our show. If you guys enjoy the show, you come to locals. Neither of us have ever begged for money or asked for something. Like, I would never. I'll tell you guys a story on the other side. That, like,
You
if
mean
we
you'll
were,
end up saying in about 10 minutes, probably?
I'm going to save that one for the other side because that one's so crazy. But
Thank you, Juan.
okay, just added you on YouTube. Like the things that have happened to both of us, where I know our audience loves us enough that they would be generous and help us. Shut up, Grover.
Because people
but
people did offer to set up. Well, not a. They were sending money like when my car broke, and I told them not.
Yeah, absolutely,
But
exactly.
But for those of you who did, thank you.
Not just
but
that,
I did get half of it.
I have a brother who's in a very bad. Like, we would never, like, if I ever set up a GoFundMe, it's a life or death thing. Like, it's gonna be, oh my gosh, like, no, like, I would never grift off our audience or ask them for money for something that is not like, holy cow, my kid is sick or something like that. Like, that's the only time I would ever do that. So so my brother-in-law, all right, so the boat broke down at the end of last season. I had to have it towed in. I had Joe Boca with me on the boat. I was out with Joe Boca. We went to Fire Island, and then we were on our way back, and the boat breaks down, so I had to have it towed in. I knew it was bad. I had the mechanic just winterize it, and I'm like, I'll just deal with it next season. So the beginning of this season, I'm like, I don't even, like, there's no way. So my brother-in-law is like, listen, I'm coming to pick the boat up. I'm dropping it my mechanic. So he came like 2 weeks ago. He picked it up right before we went to Greece, and he drops it at his mechanic. And I'm like, this is, you know, what sucks about owning a boat is you pay insurance on it. And
no matter what,
but the insurance only covers accidents. Like, if you hit another boat or but like, if something severe happens to it, they don't cover it. So
that's kind of like cars.
Yeah, same thing. If your motor blows in your car, your insurance isn't going to cover it. So it's like,
new locals tier incoming, the bark of Peter.
That's actually funny.
That's awesome. That's genius.
The bark of Anthony. So I snorted.
Yeah, you did.
Snorted. All right. I might have had a cocktail at the beginning of this show. All right. So anyway, so he picks my boat up and brings it to his mechanic. Now, his mechanic, so my brother-in-law calls me today, and he's like, oh man, it's bad. And he tells me, he's like, so you're going to talk to Nicole about it? And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to tell her. He's like, you might want to talk to her. But no, I don't even think I'm going to tell her. Like, I came home and I did tell her, just so you guys know.
The number, or
I had to. I mean, it's my wife. I'm not going to not tell her. But I'll tell you guys on the other side.
Plus, if you don't tell her, she's gonna just keep ordering things from Amazon.
The you thing is,
tell her
Rob,
to try to decrease that.
Here's the issue, is that she keeps asking me, we need this done at the house. We need this. And I'm like, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. We don't have the money.
And now you're like,
the money.
But we do have all this money for the boat.
But now the boat needs to be fixed. I'm like, he's like, wait a minute. You actually have enough money to fix that boat? I'm like, she's like, wait, you actually have enough money to fix? I'm like, yes.
I mean, technically, yeah, but,
but that's not the problem. All right, let's get to the cat story. We're going to talk about the cat. It's actually a good lead.
Babylon, the boat cow.
No, if you want to hear the rest of the story, come over to Locals, because we need a boat fund. So please help support us on Locals.
But right, seriously though, like our locals number has leveled out for a few months. We do need people to join.
We actually do need local support. Our Locals members have dive bombed, and people are not renewing their subscription. So we're going to do, we got 20 minutes left, and then we're going to Locals. So I will explain this on Locals too. I'll explain why on Locals. And I'll tell it in Hawaiian Pidgin. All right, let's play that video.
See, people really did take that seriously.
Rob, I was had to get off the highway during the opening of the last podcast when he said the tip with Rob was out. Oh God! Listen, I'll say this: Rob and I actually one of the first episodes we did, we said we will never have a falling out like TNT. Like it'll never end like that. Like we would rather lose the podcast than lose our friendship. Like that's actually a real thing. So if we ever did have a real falling out, it would definitely be presented to the audience of why it happened, like Rob and I talk about everything, so it's not
who gets to keep Nick as a friend, who gets to keep
it's
Kale as a friend.
Way bigger than me just going, oh, I got rid of Rob. Like that would never be how I handled that.
First off, if he had just gotten rid of Rob, the thumbnail would have looked different. It wouldn't have worked broadcasting to Locals and to Rumble. He would have had more issues. Like you guys would know if I was gone.
Molly, the first thing, I butchered like all the videos, and stuff. I bet she goes, "Yeah, Rob's not going anywhere. Rob's not going anywhere. Anthony needs Rob."
Do we have a prenup?
So, all right, let's play the video. Come on.
Okay.
No, we don't have a pre. We never even. No, forget it. We'll be in trouble if we ever have a.
Yeah,
it will be ugly. All right.
We've been married for 3.5 years, and we just welcomed our first baby 6 months ago. I work construction, and my wife stays home with the baby. But yeah, I'm the one bringing in the paycheck. For the last 2 years, I've been saving every extra dollar for house down payment. Anyway, we've managed to stash about $21,000. It's not a fortune, but for us, it's huge. So here's where everything kind of went sideways. Our cat. Turns out he's got this aggressive cancer on his jaw. Vet says they can try a surgery and chemo combo that might buy in time, but it's $17,000 up front and no promise. My wife loves that cat and wants to go all in for the treatment. Technically, we do have $21,000, but that's the whole house fund. And even if the surgery works, the vet said recovery's rough. We'd need more follow-up visits, meds, maybe another procedure, could be thousands more. I tried to explain the math. You know, if we spend it, we reset the clock on the house. Now she barely talks to me. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I love my wife. I love our baby. Heck, I even love the cat, but I also dreamed of handing her house keys this time next year.
All right. I have to be honest. I had a very different perspective on this video before the boat broke. Like a very different perspective on this video.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. You're the wife who wants $17,000 for the cat. That's you. That's you, except you've probably already put about that much money into it already, whereas the cat's like $100.
Okay, wait. I have a very different perspective on this video now. Listen to me. The cat's gonna last maybe another year or two, but the boat's gonna last many years.
The boat's gonna be broken in another year.
No, I'm gonna fix it right. That's my point.
Really.
No.
And I've known you for how many years? 3, 4? Your boat is broken all the time.
No, it's really
you go to the emergency room.
All right, let's talk about this woman and her cat. No, I don't want to talk about me and my boat.
You go to the emergency room once a year because you get hurt fixing your boat.
It's not wrong. All right, let's talk about this psychopath and her cat.
The only good thing your boat's ever done for the podcast was the one time your wife was on the channel.
That's right.
The boat drunk.
No, listen. All right. The thing. All right, we'll talk about the boat on the other side. Let's talk about this crazy woman and her cat because of the disproportionate of obsession people have with their pets. This guy is saving his
boats.
I ruined this whole. I had so much to say about this.
I wouldn't have even made the connection until you said that.
I had so much to say about this. All right, but
okay, you might be right on one thing.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to take your cat out back and put it down than it is to get rid of a broken boat. Like even selling a broken boat can be a pain. Whereas that cat's easy to get rid of.
The thing actually is with the cat, it has to do with his wife's disordered affection for an animal, first off. But he's also hasn't bought his house yet. He's not like, you know what I mean? It's like that, like the idea of a woman because a cat is going to die. Like there's no investment there. It's not like you save the cat and you can sell the cat and get that 17 grand back.
Right. And even if you save that cat's life, like chemo and surgery, like that animal is suffering, and there is absolutely no good that comes from an animal suffering. They they don't have rational souls. Their suffering doesn't attain any grace or anything like that. So when an animal is suffering unnecessarily, like that is a true evil, whereas human suffering can attain good.
I actually, what's funny is I saw Molly actually tweet something very similar to that, and then she deleted it for some reason. I don't know why. She tweeted something very similar to what you just said, and then deleted it. I don't know why, but that's actually like a profound point, right? Like it'd be different if it was your child, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you go into hock for your child to even get a few more months of life for your child. But what that woman's actually doing is not trying to relieve the cat's suffering. It's trying to relieve her own suffering because she can't get over the loss of her cat. It's a very selfish thing to do. Like the cat's going to be in torment for experiencing that, like it's not the cat. Imagine a cat going through chemo and then jaw surgery. Like the cat is going to be living a horrible, like that. It is more merciful to perform euthanasia on an animal. It's not the same thing as a human, right? Like New York just passed this assisted suicide bill, which is disgusting and psychotic for a human. But for an animal, it is actually more merciful to just put the animal out of its misery because it's just going to cause suffering. And there's absolutely no redemption in that suffering.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
And not just that, like you think about all the hard work the husband put in, right? The husband has been working his ass off and he wants to go and buy a home for his family. And she's giving him the silent treatment over this.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Ladies, you're not doing anything to change my opinions. You just saying. You know what? What's the girl, the hillbilly something? What's her Twitter name? She told a story.
Oh, yeah. I know
I forgot her full Twitter
Is it
name.
just the hillbilly Catholic?
Yes, hillbilly Catholic or something. She told the story. She drove like an hour and a half to go to confession on Friday. And she got there and there was a sign on the door said the priests were all at retreat over the weekend and they're not going to be offering confession. And there was an old lady at the parish and she goes, "Honey, where are you going?" And she goes, "Well, I came here for confession." She goes, "You drove a long way, didn't you?" She goes, "Yeah, I drove about an hour." She goes, "You come with me." And she took the woman back to see the priest and the priest was like, "All right, I'll hear her confess," because she drove all that way. And I was like, you restored my hope in women because I have called that stupid parish to make an appointment for confession and been told, Hillbilly Things is her name. I have been told by the woman at the parish that you need to come between 4 and 5 on Saturday. I'm like, well, I work on Saturdays and I'm not around between 4 and 5 and I need absolution. Well, the priests are not going to be available for you except on Saturday for between 4. I said, do me a favor, just put the priest on the phone because I would like to ask him myself. And she put the priest on the phone. The priest goes, "Come down to the parish right now and I'll hear your confession." And it's like, that's the typical woman running the parish.
Yeah.
And this wife, I would hope most of the women that watch our show would never put their family in jeopardy over an animal. I don't think they would.
Bobby here has an amazing point. Wherever there's animal worship, there's human sacrifice.
That's interesting. I never heard that quote.
You have women wanting to spend 17 grand to save a cat in a society that's literally working on trying to kill off old and sick people.
The cat meat helps you see in the dark. What?
Is that why nope. Nope, can't say it. Can't say it. Is that why the Viet Cong were so good in the tunnels in the jungle?
Caitlin says, yeah, I don't have good experience with parish secretaries. They're awful, typically. I mean, not all the time, but typically.
I had a really, well, it wasn't, I had a good experience, not necessarily with a parish secretary, but I sent an email to a parish I'd never been to ever last week and got a call from the priest today and had an hour-long conversation with the priest. So that was a surprise, because a lot of times you email a parish, you don't hear back ever, let alone having a priest call you for an hour.
So I told my wife, because we have 2 cats, I'm allergic to both of them. I told, because I played that clip for my wife and I just wanted to see her reaction. And she's like, that's crazy. I go, I'm just letting you know right now, we have 2 cats. If one of them gets sick, if it's over $250, I'm shooting the cat. Like, or I would let it go in the South Bronx and just let it enjoy its last few months of life in the wild, and it would be a stray. Like it would just disappear.
Are your cats spayed or neutered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if they're not spayed or neutered, don't just let them.
You have to do that, even if they're house cats. Like my cats never leave the house.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you have no idea how disgusting it is.
That's what I thought too. Like the wild.
You think the Bronx isn't a jungle? I promise you, the South Bronx is a jungle, my friend. The thing, if you don't spay and, like, I have a male cat and a female cat. We got the female first, and they're disgusting when they're in heat. Like, they're gross.
Yeah.
They're moaning and, oh, it's disgusting. But we got the boy after that, and I'm pretty sure the boy assaulted the girl before we neutered him.
He didn't attain consent.
No, and the female cat is terrified of him till this day.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, when he was coming of age, he assaulted her, and the 2 cats hate each other. Like, Nicole was hoping the 2 cats would, like, be besties. They're not besties. The female hates the male, and it is like you will be sitting in bed sometimes, and you'll just hear, and they'll just be going at it.
Female hates the male because the male cat didn't want to spend $17,000 on
17 grand. All right, so let's switch over to the final story before we head over to locals.
The cat got me too. Yeah, did you name the cat Diddy?
The cat got me too. Yes, Lucy is traumatized because Oliver. Those are the cats, Lucy and Oliver. All right, let's play the last clip before we head over.
Never mind. What was the second one? Was
it was the airplane. Mewtwo'd. Cat got Mewtwo'd. Yeah, the South Bronx is not a fun place to be, kids. I'm just telling you, especially night shifts. Night shifts in the South Bronx are always an adventure.
So I'm clicking on that one.
Don't tell me
saying this page doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah.
No way. Hang on.
Yeah. See if you can click on it.
Oh no. What is going on?
No, Paul, when he said Oliver, I started doing the Oliver twist. Please, sir, can I have some more? I don't know why. I just do it anytime I hear the name Oliver.
Wasn't it my tweet though? Go to my Twitter.
Yes, because finding things on your Twitter is so
look
easy.
up oh, no, what did I tweet?
It was it before or after the dead bunny picture?
I think oh no, I don't know. You have to look up search should the husband have left the wife. That was what I tweet.
How many
I think I-
guys? How
I
many
think
tweets do you think we're gonna pull up on Anthony's Twitter if I search "should the husband"? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's.
Did you find it? Did you
Um,
find it?
I'm looking. Give me a second. It doesn't put them in date order.
That's not good. Wait.
Yeah, I found it, but the link, it just shows the link and the link is inactive.
Oh no, are you kidding me? I just played it before. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. You gotta be kidding me.
Todd says my wife and I laughed so hard at Ant thinking a rabbit was a mouse. I thought that was kind of funny too. But
Wait a minute. No. Why did they delete that tweet?
it's almost like maybe we should not always rely on Twitter.
I should have screen recorded that one. Why would they delete that tweet? That is actually right before our show. They ruined the second clip of our show. All right.
I have a Jimmy Aiken clip we could play.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do
we
that.
want to do that on this side?
Yeah, we'll do that on this side. And then I mean, I did have a bunch of other articles we could go over. Let me see. You want to do the German bishop? All right, we'll leave it up to the chat. Should we do the Jimmy Aiken clip? German bishop resigns after citing inner fatigue of synodal way, or traditional Catholicism, the new cool for young Americans? We could, if we do Jimmy Aiken, we kind of got to follow it up with the Pentagon planted UFO myths.
Everyone says Aiken.
Everyone says Aiken. All right, let's play the Aiken clip.
Yeah. So spirit communicating with spirits, especially the spirits of the dead, has had a bit of a bad rap in Christian history.
Why.
And this is something that's an inheritance from Judaism. If you read the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, there are condemnations of the Israelites using mediums. And there are also later passages in the prophets that mock the use of mediums and so forth. And these texts were kind of picked up and incorporated into Christian warnings against communication with spirits without a lot of reflection. And that's especially true today when many people don't have a sense of the broad scope of either the biblical tradition or the Christian tradition. They just know these are certain passages, and that just proves that Christians are not.
So he's talking about, I mean, divination and almost like witchcraft and like necromancy and
what religion is Jimmy Aiken?
I don't know. I don't know.
What religion is he?
So
his whole thing is aliens and like, what is he even doing? I don't get it. Like, it's so crazy. You said something on Twitter in the Catholic Answers Twitter account.
So Catholic Answers tweeted something about how Catholics shouldn't be so concerned with exorcism and spiritual warfare and things like that. So I quote tweeted that. Well, what about Catholic apologists being preoccupied with aliens and ghost and divination and Bigfoot?
And he said, "Why don't you just at Jimmy Aiken?" Which is interesting.
I almost wanted to say, well, why doesn't Trent Horn just at everyone he talks about?
But just the fact that you said those things, he knew you were talking about Jimmy Aiken.
It kind of proved my point, right?
Which it actually does prove your point. And it's like, what is his preoccupation with these things is bizarre. I saw somebody tweeted a clip of him talking about if it would be immoral to the conjugal act with an alien. Like he was actually answering that, like it's bestiality that he's this, like what I don't know what's going on in Novus Ordo apologist world. I don't get it.
So like here's the Catechism of the Catholic Church, CCC 2116, so 2116. All forms of divination are to be rejected. Recourse to Satan or demons, conjuring up the dead, or other practices falsely supposed to unveil the future. Consulting horoscopes, astrology, palm reading, interpretation of omens and lots, phenomena of clairvoyance, and recourse to mediums all conceal a desire for power over time, history, and in the last analysis, other human beings, as well as a wish to conciliate hidden powers. They contradict the honor, respect, and loving fear that we owe to God alone. So, to repeat, all forms of divination are to be rejected. Why is it Jimmy Akin gets to directly contradict the CCC and have everyone be okay with it, but yet any trad says the slightest thing about something that was maybe changed in the CCC in 2018, and we're called schismatic for it?
That's actually a really good point, but it's because all that alien content got him a new boat, and the joke's on us. I was trying so hard not to laugh at that while you were reading because I didn't want to throw you off. But even Lofton had that freaking he had like some Jewish Satanist on.
Really?
Yeah, I saw Father Maudsley tweeting about it, and then Todd, I think I sent the article here. I thought I did. Guess not. Yeah, Todd sent me an article. I thought I sent it here. Yeah, like, oh, here it is. The making of a Mississippi shooter. Pull that making of a Mississippi shooter up.
Okay.
Dew shown on the grass as students made their way into Pearl High School, where they lingered in the commons, a large open area inside the school. Maybe I should just read what Todd actually highlighted to me. Hang on, let me see. That might be better.
I mean, this is from 2021.
Yes, but this is the same guy that he had on. So Justin Sledgefellow Lofton did a video with as an occultist and was implicated in satanic school shootings in the 90s. Another childhood friend of Grant's who wanted to remain anonymous said that Grant was Machiavellian and confessed that he was not surprised when it later came out that Grant dabbled in Satanism. Boyette, who had also been the victim of bullying, had a former group with other misfits who called themselves the Cross. The name Boyette told, like, Lofton interviewed this guy. If you go to let me see, maybe Maudsley's.
What was the point of the interview, though?
I'll tell you right now, because I'll give you guys some context. Give me a sec. Okay. So somebody said, Novus Ordo Watch tweeted, nothing to see here. Catholic apologist Michael Lofton seeks instruction from Dr. Justin Sledge on the origins of Yahweh and Yahweh worship. Sledge is an adherent of Reconstructionist Judaism, whose YouTube channel Esoterica produces content relating to topics such as alchemy, magic, Kabbalah, mysticism, Hermetic philosophy, theosophy, the occult, and more, using the best academic scholarship available. Then Father Maudsley said, this is theology from the toilet. Apart from all the diabolical insults aimed at God, the guest, who is deeply in Kabbalah, says he's not convinced that Moses even existed. Faithless and pathetic Catholics never platform Jews. They subvert your mind, and they cannot teach the truth until they convert to Jesus Christ. So it's just my point is, what are these guys?
Was it a debate or like? I don't get it.
I don't know what the point of what they're all doing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
So Jimmy here was talking about divination on this show because he is going to give a discussion on it at a so-called parapsychology conference coming up. Parapsychology being nonsense, basically.
Yeah. I understand burnout, right? Like, I think he might have gotten Catholic apologetics burnout.
Jimmy or Lofton or both?
Jimmy Akin. I think Jimmy Akin, what happened with him is he got apologetics burnout. So when you do what we're doing, I've seen it happen with a lot of guys. You get burnout, right? Like, it happens to us sometimes. Like,
most of the time, I'd rather be talking. Yeah, there's I have other interests that I would often rather talk about, just because we talk about all this stuff all the time.
Yeah, so you kind of get burnout from talking about like whatever's. I mean, how many, dude? Like I saw a I don't know if it was an Ascension clip or if it was St. Paul Center clip of Dr. John Bergsma once again talking about how Scripture convinced him of Catholic, and it's like, how many times can a Catholic convert tell their story before they get tired of telling their story? You know, like it's got to get tedious at a certain point, which is why I'm glad our show does diversify topics, and sometimes we could just get on and goof around about my boat, and you know, like
it's also why when we have someone on the show, we try to have them talk about things that people usually don't hear them, like Father Ripperger.
Yeah,
we purposefully, to our detriment, it turns out, stayed away from talking about demons and exorcism when he was on our show.
Yeah, because any other channel that talks to Ripperger talks about exorcist says this, and they get hundreds of thousands of views,
300,000 views every single time, and we haven't talked about his childhood, and we got 20,000.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a conversation with Father Ripperger, and it's like, yeah, I didn't want to do what everybody else does with him and just talk to him about demons and stuff, because I don't want our show to ever be that. So it's like we got a more interesting conversation out of him, in my opinion, but it's not going to get 300,000 views. It's just not going to. So I can understand Aiken getting the apologetics burnout, but man, what he chose to go down is kind of bizarre.
Bobby's got a good point here. Bobby says he's descending into Gnosticism with the research he's doing for his show. He's entrenched in aliens and the weird theological questions that come up with things like that. And he's trying to, instead of, he's doing it the opposite way he should be. Instead of trying to take these topics and force them into the Catholic framework we have for the universe, right? He's trying to force the Catholic framework, he's trying to force Catholicism into this framework he's built for himself.
This weird alien thing. It's like, I think he's just always had an interest in it. Same thing with Steve Skojek. Steve Skojek has always had an interest in aliens. I don't know what happened to Rob, but Skojek did the same thing. So Skojek, when he left the Catholic commentary sphere, he got into the same thing. He got into aliens and the weird stuff. And it's like, I don't know how to make those. I don't know how to make those things fit. Like I don't want to. Like I just kind of ignore it all. Like it's just stupid. I cannot wait until Jimmy Aiken releases Theology of the Alien Body. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. We're at 1 hour and 8. We're a little bit over. If you guys want to hear the actual number on my boat, I'll tell you on the other side. But then I'll also tell you guys what. Oh, man. I never thought I would tell that story on air, but
which one?
I'm going to. I never even told you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one, guys. Go over.
Yeah, this is
some of the stories we've told on Locals. And by we, I mean you. I'm still.
I think I might have told you when we were in Steubenville. A little bit of it, but I never. And it has to do with St. Joseph's saving me in a way like beyond anything I ever could have imagined.
Like about how you were gambling when one of your children was born?
Oh, I can tell that story though. It was his due date. I mean, he wasn't born while I was there. It was just his due date. All right. Yes, we're definitely hurting for Locals, buddy. All right, come on over to Locals, guys. We'll get into some stuff over there.
Okay, give me a second. I'll post the actual link in the chat right now. Give me a second, guys, and then I'll cut the stream here. Okay, so I'm pinning the link in the chat,
and I want to play that. Dave Portnoy song, but it's got.
I haven't heard it. Is there swearing?
It's got like 1 or 2 swears in it, but it is so catchy.
Oh no.
It's better than Kanye's latest, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm gonna cut Facebook.
Oh, I have to bring up locals.
We're cutting Twitter.
I gotta pull up locals.
We're cutting Rumble. And cutting YouTube.